Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video for NXT and the Takeover 30 results. Number one contender triple threat: Breezango versus Legado del Fantasma versus Oda Lorcan and Danny Burke. Triple threat tag team match. Breeze holds wild for the unprettier, but Lorcan charges and nails the running uppercut to Wild. Breeze comes right back with a super kick to Lorcan for the pin and the win. Number one contenders: Breezango. Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Balor takes Thatcher back down as it goes up top for the coup de grace. Balor nails it this time, but Balor's leg gave him trouble and Thatcher isn't all the way down. Balor follows up with a 1916 DDT for the pin and the win. Ladder match for the vacant NXT North American title: Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes versus Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed versus Velveteen Dream. Gargano sends Grimes to the mat. Gargano grabs the title, but Priest grabs him by his neck up high. Gargano gets the belt free, but he and Priest tangle with it up top. Gargano gets sent to the mat, and Priest is still left holding the title for the win. Winner and new North American champion, Damian Priest. Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. McAfee goes up top to some boos. He takes his shirt off, leaps with his double axe handle, but Cole super kicks him in midair. Cole is confused out, yelling at McAfee to get up and watch him beat him up. McAfee sits up and remains defiant. Cole looks to drop his knee pad and expose his knee, but he changes his mind. Cole goes to the corner and waits for McAfee to get up. Cole nails the Panama Surprise for the pin and the win. That was McAfee's wrestling debut for WWE and NXT. NXT women's title match: Dakota Kai versus Io Shirai. Shirai goes up top and leaps out to the floor, taking both Kai and Gonzalez down. Shirai brings Kai back in the ring, hits another big moonsault on Kai for the pin and the win. After the match, music hits. Shirai stands tall and celebrates, but Gonzalez suddenly attacks from behind. Music interrupts. Out comes Rhea Ripley. Ripley hits the ring and faces off with Gonzalez. No match in between. NXT title match: Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee. Kross comes from behind, but Lee fights back, knocking him to the mat. Lee is moving so slow now as he just grabs Kross for the spirit bomb in the middle of the ring, but Kross kicks out. Lee drives Kross to the corner and climbs up for the Vader bomb. Kross grabs his leg, they tangle in the corner, and Kross climbs up with Lee. Kross ends up hitting the big Doomsday Saito from the second rope for the pin and gets the big win out of nowhere. Thus, your champion now is Karrion Kross, and he's also apparently injured. As I'll give you details after your NXT results, because he opens up the show. New NXT champion Karrion Kross suffered an injury during this big main event when over Keith Lee at Takeover 30. Triple H hosted a media call after Takeover went off the air and said it appears that Kross suffered a separated shoulder during the match, according to PW Insider. Kross is set to undergo an MRI to get a better idea of the injury. Triple H noted that Kross is tough and was able to gut through the injury during the match to work the entire match. Triple H also praised Kross for going through that kind of injury and having the big man like Lee on his shoulders. He talked about how Kross and Scarlett have worked their entire careers to get to this moment, which he knows from their first conversation together. And now earlier in the day, it was hard for them to believe that they were here. And they kept waiting for something to happen to change that moment. Triple H said his heart breaks for Kross that he got hurt in the middle of the match. He also praised Lee for being an incredible performer in the locker room. He believes Lee did a great job with keeping things together and getting them through everything at TakeOver, adding that to his no ballot. So he's going to be making his roster debut. No word on if Kross will be missed anytime, but stay tuned for your results as he relinquishes the title. But Triple H said once they are able to, they will have an MRI done and then figure out what's up and how to work around it. He praised Kross for delivering on every level and said they will see where things stand with him. My prediction, he drops the title on opening, which he did on this week's show. Not at the show was Mauro Ranallo. It was reported that Ranallo has returned to Canada to be with his family, but there has been no other reports indicating why he was done, so nor will he return. Corey Graves filled on commentary with Vic Joseph and Beth Phoenix, and Triple H commented on the situation. Mauro just wasn't available tonight, Triple H stated. Since we announced Takeover 30, Corey Graves did commentary on the first one, Takeover, and he'd been worrying me out on doing commentary for this one since we first mentioned it. And Mauro was not available. And here we are. And thought he did a phenomenal job. And thought Vic, and Beth did an amazing job. I thanked him for being here, and I thanked him for wanting to be here because, like I said, he did it. He did the first one. It was so meaningful to him. Just him getting done last night, and Big Jake tomorrow. That was from Saturday, as he also did commentary for SummerSlam. Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle, episode number 73 for this week and this week. Bronson Reed was a participant in Saturday's ladder match. Was later interviewed backstage about how he deserves the first title shot from Priest, not Thatcher. Reed was interrupted by a returning Austin Theory who ran Reed down and assaulted him. Reed responded with a big slap across the mouth, but Theory just took it in and smirked as Reed walked away. Theory, who remains a member of the Raw roster as of this video, made his first appearance since the June 22nd Raw episode. He had been working the stable with Seth Rollins and Murphy until he was pulled from TV out of nowhere. It was reported on August 4th that WWE had suspended Theory for unknown reasons, but that was not confirmed, ever. Rollins stated last week during a Sporting News interview that Theory had been away due to personal reasons. He had some personal issues that came up, so he had to take some time off and sort through them for the past month or two. Due to the hashtag crap, what have you. It's hard right now, but we hope everything's good for him, so we hope to have him back sooner than later. Rollins stated last week, Theory had been working NXT until right around WrestleMania 36, time when he was brought back to Raw. There was no word yet on if he will return to Raw now that he's back on TV, but I will keep you posted. Being Elite episode 218 can be found in this link, and it's called Brodie Lee celebrates his AEW TNT title win from last week. And Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara, Colt caBANA being the new GOLDUST, as he's watched the episode, and you can see he's in gold paint. Former WWE Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett made his return to WWE during the WWE NXT episode for this week. Barrett did guest commentary at NXT Arena on the campus of Full Sail University, alongside with Vic Joseph. Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix joined in as well as she has done during the COVID-19 pandemic. But being SummerSlam is Beth's last appearance in WWE forever. Barrett announced that he will be back at the NXT announce table next week as well for the NXT Superstar Tuesday episode next week. He commented about he would like to see a certain match, which is also airing Tuesday night due to the NHL playoffs on the USA Network. So you will have Impact Wrestling versus NXT for Tuesday night. Unknown if AEW is back on Wednesday this week because NBA. Unknown if they will return because of their episodic playoffs being stopped on this weekend. This current weekend. As I'm doing this kind of video on Friday night this week. Told you I'm getting these videos later and later in the week. Because I've had some issues with my internet and my computer, as well as other issues. Busy at work and other things life does. Former WWE Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett made his return to the company in the episode. Barrett did guest commentary at the NXT Arena on campus of Full Sail University. 6-man street fight was announced for next week's NXT Super Tuesday episode. The match will see Legado del Fantasma, NXT Cruiserweight Champion Santos Escobar, Raul Mendoza, Walking Wild, taking on Isaiah Swerve Scott, and the new NXT Tag Team Champion, Breezango. Did I just give you a spoiler to NXT results? Because they won the Tag Team Championships during NXT. The match was made after Breezango chased Wild and Mendoza away from ringside. During tonight's title match, they saw Escobar retain over Swerve. Tuesday's match will be on the second six-man. Will be the second six-man between these two teams, as the August 19th show featured Legado Fantasma winning a regular match. Fatal four-way, 60-man Iron Man match for the vacant NXT title. Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor. Also will be next week. AEW Dark episode number 48 can be found in this link, which has stars of TH2 versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss tag team, and Proud and Powerful Ricky Starks in action. Ricky Starks is with Taz and his faction. Impact Night 2 emerges results. Josh Matthews, Madison Ring will welcome us to fans Night 2 of Emergence. We kick things off with Eddie Edwards in open challenge. Eddie Edwards champion versus Rob Van Dam with Katie Ford's Impact World Championship match. Bell rings, both men up in the middle ring. Rob Van Dam goes for a standing switch, followed by a side headlock. Eddie Edwards escapes with a baseball side. Edwards keeps going with a belly suplex. RVD slides out of the ring. Edwards flies through the ropes with a chops the suicide. Edwards does it again. Van Dam gets up. Edwards chops Van Dam's chest. Katie Forbes gets in Edwards' face. Van Dam sneaks up from behind and sends him face first in the ring post. Van Dam sends Edwards on top of the guardrail. Van Dam lands a spinning kick on Edwards. Van Dam rolls Edwards back in the ring for a cover. Edwards kicks out too. Both men exchange back and forth forearms. Van Dam trips Edwards. Ford climbs up on Edwards and kicks Edwards in the face. Then twerks in front of the camera. Van Dam connects with another spinning kick in the corner. Edwards smashes Van Dam on the mat with a blue thunder bomb. Both men get up. Van Dam connects with a scissor kick. Edwards counters with a power bomb. Van Dam kicks out with a pinfall at 2. Edwards sets Van Dam up on the top rope. Van Dam pushes Edwards off of him. Van Dam lands a big time kick off the top rope, followed by rolling thunder. Van Dam heads up top again. He misses his chance with a 5-star frog splash. Edwards meets him in the center with a Boston Knee Party. Edwards grabs a pin and retains his title. After the match, Eric Young runs down to the ring and attacks Edwards. EY, returns his second episode. He yells out that he'll see Edwards next week for the championship. After the opening match, Matthews and Rain run through tonight's card. Once they summarize all the matches for tonight, they head back to Wrestle House to see what's going on since last Tuesday. At Wrestle House, Teo Valkyrie arranged a group bonding event. It looks like it'll be a toga party. The dealers both in togas. Johnny Swinger has leopard print one on. Swinger tells Crazy Steve he needs to find a new style because his toga looks like something he put together at last second. Back from a break, everyone gathered together in the living room for their toga party. They are all having drinks and dancing. Kylie Ray comes into the room and greets everyone. Valkyrie starts talking to her, but she throws up midway. In the dealer's corner, AC Romero on if he took their beer. Romero said they asked that last week. He never took their beer. They all call for truce. Larry D barges into Steve and Swinger's conversation. Larry D ducks down and Swinger accidentally throws powder in Steve's face. Tommy Dreamer steps in, and after Steve tells Dreamer that Swinger purposely threw the powder at him and tried to blind him, Dreamer creates a stipulation match for Swinger and Steve. It'll be a blindfolded match, and whoever loses has to dress like the winner next week. Match has been made. Swinger versus Steve. Loser has to dress like a winner. The winner next week. With Cousin Jake as special guest referee. Both men are blindfolded in this match. Everyone on the outside directing each of them to where the other is. Steve hears the cheers. He knows he's getting closer to Swinger. Steve rolls Swinger up with a schoolboy pin and wins the match. So Swinger has to dress up like Crazy Steve. Back in the Impact Zone, Edwards is looking all over for EY. Back from a break, Rhino wants to challenge Reno Scum to a match next week. Rhino wants Heath to be by his side when he rips both members of Reno Scum apart with gores. He asks fans to tweet for hashtag Heath for Impact, so Heath can come back to the Impact Zone and partner up with him. Edwards heads down to the ring again. He grabs his microphone and says that he accepts EY's challenge, but why? Why not do it right here, right now? EY's music hits. EY makes his way out. Young believes that Edwards' approach is pathetic. Young says that he and Edwards are two different levels. One plays chess, being Young, while the other, Edwards, is too busy playing checkers. He doesn't want the match right now. He wants it next week. Edwards accepts that, but he says Young will not go away without a butt whooping. Both men brawl outside the ring. Several referees and Scott D'Amore run down the ramp to separate the two. Backstage, after winning the X Division Championship last week, Rohit Raju is proud to call himself the new champion. He welcomes all challengers to step up to him. That was in the first night of emergence. Rain is back with more content of this week's episode of Locker Room Talk. Her co-hosts this week are Wentz and Des from the Rascals. Her guests this week are Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. Rain asks Austin and Fulton how they're holding up after their loss from the Good Brothers last week. The Rascals can't help but giggle when it starts to cough and says, "They beat your butt," to Fulton. Fulton gets in both men's face. Fulton and Austin leave. Rascals invite Rain to the treehouse. She politely declines and ends her segment. ICU leader Sammy Callahan has a chilling message to RVD. He forewarns RVD, informs that he'll be back at the Impact Zone next week to beat RVD's butt. Back from the break was EC3 sitting and reflecting on his accolades, which included winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship twice. He says that he gave everything he had just to earn some sort of respect. All that he got in return was pain, hurt, and regret. He says that he's not afraid to put himself on the line again. He wants to go back to being the man that he used to be, happy, proud, and free. In order to do that, he needs to destroy the TNA Championship. Once he wins that title back, he can destroy it and finally set himself free. Head back to the ring for tonight's singles action. Brian Myers versus Willie Mack. The bell rings. Both men go back and forth with standing switches. Willie Mack gains control with a wrist lock on Brian Myers. Myers looks for some separation. Mack connects with a strong shoulder tackle, which sends Mack off his feet. Myers pounds Mack in the back and near the throat. Myers rolls Mack over with a pin. Mack kicks out at 2. Mack sends Myers flying with a hurricanrana, followed by a dropkick. Myers gets up. Both men shove one another before Myers lands on top of Mack with a takedown. Myers hooks Mack in the front face lock. Mack bites out of it with a couple of shots. Mack lands a sunset flip, but gets caught with a back elbow from Myers. Myers goes to putting Mack in the face lock. Myers breaks it up with a few shots. Myers crashes into the mat with a spinebuster. Mack builds momentum with a series of moves, including a spinning kick and a body slam. Mack goes for a cover. Mack kicks out. Myers kicks out. Mack tries his standing moonsault on Myers, but he can't grab another pinfall. Myers and Mack find themselves on and near the ropes. Myers gets Mack off of him with a nasty headbutt. Next, he soars through the air with a flying elbow. Myers goes for the cover. Mack kicks out at 2. Mack gets caught up. Myers grabs Mack's trunk, rolls him up again, and seals the win. Heath is all for teaming up with Rhino next week, but he needs your support. Hashtag Heath for Impact. Back to Wrestle House. Rosemary is ready to go out on her date with Larry D. Alicia Edwards wants to talk to Rosemary before the date. She knows that Rosemary is using Larry D to make John E. Bravo jealous. Alicia informs Rosemary that she's breaking Bravo's heart. Dreamer tells Bravo that he needs to man up and stop Rosemary's date with Larry D. Rosemary finds Larry D and begins to cough after smelling his new cologne. Bravo finds both Larry D and Rosemary, who tries to put an end to their date by slapping Larry D. Dreamer calls for a match. Larry D versus Johnny Bravo, with AC Romero as the guest referee. Larry D sends Bravo down twice. With 2 punches towards the face, Larry D picks up the pinfall. Quick match. After match, Bravo admits to Valkyrie that he has feeling for Rosemary. Valkyrie blames Rosemary for everything, including the Stress House show. She thinks that Rosemary is jealous of her. Valkyrie challenges Rosemary to a winner-take-all match, which includes Bravo. Good luck with that. Speaking of additional matches, Rain and Matthews announced the other matches made for next week's card. It'll be Mammo Fulton and Ace Austin versus the Rascals. RVD versus Sammy Callahan, Eddie Edwards versus Eric Young for the Impact World title. Next is your main event, Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace. 30-minute Iron Woman match for the Knockouts title, which Deonna Purrazzo is your champion as of the moment. Both men score up. Jordynne Grace rolls, put Deonna up and rolls through. But they are both tightly locked up. Grace tries again to regain wrist control. Purrazzo rolls through, but gets locked up again. They both break it up and restart. Purrazzo puts Grace in a side headlock. Grace gets her knees over Purrazzo's neck to reverse the hold. Grace wraps her legs around Purrazzo's neck. Purrazzo flips out of it. Grace rolls her towards the pin. Purrazzo gets her shoulders up at 2. Grace outpaces Purrazzo with several arm drags. Grace locks in a single leg Boston Crab. Purrazzo grabs the bottom rope for a break. We're back from a commercial. No falls occurred during the commercial break. Grace and Purrazzo play cat and mouse for a minute before Purrazzo pump kicks Grace in the face. Purrazzo stomps on top of Grace's right elbow. Grace is writhing in pain. Purrazzo puts more damage on Grace's injured arm. Grace breaks free for a moment, but Purrazzo's arm lock. But Purrazzo rolls through and sets another one on Grace. Grace gets her foot on the bottom rope for the escape. Purrazzo goes for 2 near fall attempts, but Grace kicks out each time. Purrazzo sends Grace to the outside before the second commercial break. Back for the final commercial break. We see that during the break, Purrazzo stomps on Grace's injured hand once more. Purrazzo goes for another pin. Grace kicks out. Purrazzo sends Grace's wrist back. Grace rises her feet and breaks out of the hold with a headbutt to Purrazzo's midsection. Grace sets Purrazzo up on top rope. Purrazzo pushes Grace off of her. Grace connects with a big palm strike, then heads back up to the second rope. She sends Purrazzo to the other side of the ring with a beautiful superplex. Both men exchange shots before Grace sends Purrazzo down with several clotheslines and a senton. Grace hooks her leg on Purrazzo. Purrazzo kicks out 2. Grace locks Purrazzo up with a quick in the clutch. Purrazzo starts to fade. Grace gets the first fall. 1-0. Purrazzo shifts gear with a leg lock of her own. Grace gets her arm wrapped around the bottom rope. So this is a 2 out of 3 falls. Grace is looking for a signature driver. Purrazzo breaks free with several back elbows. Purrazzo pulls the referee out in front of her. Referee gets knocked down by Grace. Grace finally connects with her Grace driver, but the referee doesn't make his way over for the pinfall attempt. Purrazzo rolls out of the ring and smacks Grace in the face with her championship title belt. Purrazzo goes for the pin and gets it. Referee didn't see it. Purrazzo has earned her first pinfall. 1-1 match. Purrazzo locks in the Fujiwara armbar on Grace's damaged arm. Grace taps out and gains her second pinfall and wins the match. Purrazzo retains the knockout title. That concludes your show for Impact. Emergence. Major League Wrestling is focusing on health and safety of their employees as they prepare to resume operations during the COVID-19 pandemic. And you can see it in this thing. NXT on USA opens up with a look back at last week on this past Saturday's NXT Takeover 30 event. Live one tape late on NXT Arena at the campus of Full Sail University Winter Park. And there's no LED boards because NXT is staying with their wrestlers in the arena. As we get Karrion Kross and Scarlett entering the arena. Developmental trainees boo from behind to the plexiglass barrier. Kross wearing a suit and a sling on his shoulder, taking the mic and said he told us over and over that he would be champion. He warned us that everyone would suffer, and he kept going on his word at Takeover 30 when he ripped the NXT title off of Keith Lee's carcass. Scarlett looks on with the title over her shoulder. Kross says his shoulder is separated and he's in searing pain, but he loves it. It brings him life. However, he's a realist and understands the reality of the situation. There's no way they will let him defend the NXT title in this condition. Kross takes the belt and looks at it. He says on the path there are obstacles, but for him, the obstacles are the path. Kross lays the title down on the mat as the smoke billows around it. Scarlett places an hourglass next to it as the crowd boos. Kross says that it's be a warning. This changes absolutely nothing. Doomsday is still coming because no matter when the time is told, everybody pays a toll. And God help the obstacles that will be in his path. Chick chop. Scarlett turns the hourglass upside down and the sand begins to fall as the music starts up. And Kross and Scarlett head back up the ramp. The stage with the ring filling with smoke. They're staring back at the title, which is now under a spotlight in the ring with the hourglass. And then makes their exit. Vic Joseph at ringside. He welcomes former Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett to the announce table. Guest commentary for this week, Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix is joining them from home again this week, but they are there in the arena. She's the only one that's not there. NXT tag team title match up first. Breezango versus Imperium. We go back to the ring. Out comes Breezango. Title Breeze and Fandango. Alicia Taylor does the introductions. We see how Breezango earned the title shot by winning the triple threat on Saturday Takeover pre-show. Out next are the NXT Tag Team Champions Marcel Bartel and Fabian Aichner of Imperium. The Imperium poses, but they're attacked from behind by Breezango before the bell hits. Referee restores order and the bell rings. Fandango starts with Aichner. The chain holds, and then comes Bartel to take over Fandango. Grounding him by his arm, Fandango turns around and waits for Bartel to get up as we go to commercial. Back for the break, Bartel chops Fandango in the throat. Aichner ends up coming in and slamming Fandango for a 2 count. Aichner keeps the choke and drives Fandango down for a pin attempt. Breeze ends up coming in and unloading on both opponents. Breeze with a super kick. Bartel keeps fighting, but Breeze keeps shutting him down. Bartel uppercuts Breeze in the corner and hits a big suplex. Bartel comes off the top, but Breeze heel kicks him in midair for a 2 count. Breeze ends up having an unpredictable block, more back and forth for a few minutes as Breeze stays in the match. Aichner tags back in, but Breeze levels him. Fandango tags in for a big double team, leg drop, and backbreaker. Yep. He delivers the double leg drop on both opponents. Aichner rolls to the floor for a breather with his partner. Fandango runs the ropes and nails them both. Bartel comes right back and decks Fandango. Aichner immediately follows up with a German suplex on the floor. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Imperium continues to dominate in and out of the ring. Aichner controls Fandango back in the ring as some in the crowd rally. Fandango blocks a suplex and hits a jawbreaker. Bartel tags in as Aichner nails a spine buster on Fandango. And Bartel follows up with a kick to the face for a close 2 count while Breeze is still down out on the outside. Bartel can't believe the kick out. There's some miscommunication and Aichner lands hard after missing a kick. Aichner comes back in and levels Breeze to make up for it. Breeze avoids a double team European bomb in the corner, nailing 2 super kicks to the champs. Fandango goes to the top, hits a double leg jump to both opponents again. Fandango covers for the pin and wins the titles. After the match, Breezango stand tall together with the titles as the music hits. We go to replays. New champs celebrate on the perch as the crowd cheers them on. Mackenzie Mitchell tries to get a word with new NXT North American champion Damon Priest in the back as he promises she will have her chance. They're interrupted by Timothy Thatcher. They have words that Thatcher wants a title shot. Priest laughs, Thatcher off, and walks away. We see NXT officials sitting around a table discussing the NXT's title situation. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and William Regal, and Matt Bloom. Still to come, Tommaso Ciampa returns back to commercial. which is up next. Tommaso Ciampa versus Jake Atlas. Back for the ring. Out first comes Jake Atlas. Tommaso Ciampa is out next, making his first appearance since losing to Karrion Kross at Takeover in your house in early June. The bell rings and they go to the corner. Ciampa rocks Atlas. Atlas fires back, but Ciampa beats him down and stops away in the corner. Referee backs him off. Ciampa comes right back with a kick to the head. And more stomps. Ciampa manhandles Atlas to the apron and nails the Willow's bell, jabbing DDT, and covers for the easy pin and win. Squash match. Action match. Music hits. There's the go to replays. Ciampa attacks Atlas at ringside again and destroys him there. Referee throws down to back Ciampa off, but he runs back and nails the kick to the head. The pitcher tries to get him to the back, but Ciampa places Atlas' neck under the edge of the ring and slingshots him up into it. The boos get louder, but some in the crowd chant Ciampa's name. Medics bring a stretcher down, and Atlas is loaded up while Ciampa stares down at him. Sitting on the apron, Ciampa ends up dropping Atlas on the stretcher with a DDT as the boos get even louder. Ciampa sits up and smiles before making his exit. A video package shown with Candice LeRae cutting a promo on Tegan Knox back commercial. McKenzie Mitchell backstage with Bronson Reed asking about the earlier comments between Damian Priest and TBC Thatcher. Reed believes that he should be the one to get the first NXT North American title shot from Priest. Austin Theory makes his return and confronts Reed. Theory insults Reed and gets a big slap across the mouth for it. Theory smiles and takes it as Reed walks off. Mia Yim versus Shotzi Blackheart. We go to the ring. Out comes Mia Yim. Robert Stone Brand is out next. Stone with a microphone and Aya. Stone tells Jim there was no way he was letting Mercedes Martinez in the ring this week after what happened last week. Stone suddenly falls down on the ramp, and we see it's because he got run over by Shotzi Blackheart and her mini tank again. Blackheart hits the ring for the match instead of Martinez. They go at it to start, back and forth. We see referees carrying Stone away. Blackheart welcomes Jim to the ball pit and hits the leg drop. Jim ends up driving Shotzi down with a hurricanrana. More back and forth between the two. Blackheart with a 2 count. Jim rolls right back up for a 2 count. Jim catches a kick. Blackheart goes down. They let each other down, but Jim decks Blackheart. Jim with more offense and a 2 count. More back and forth between the two for a few minutes. Blackheart with a drop kick and a senton. Blackheart goes up top and hits the flying senton for the pin and the win. After the match, Blackheart has her arm raised as the music plays. We go to replays. Blackheart celebrates, makes her exit. NXT General Manager William Regal stopped coming out of his office, asked about the NXT title situation. Regal says he's heading to the ring to make an announcement. Back to commercial. McKenzie Mitchell is backstage with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, asking about Rhea Ripley. Kai says Ripley should have minded her own business at TakeOver, but they're not bothered about tonight's title match because she and Gonzalez are a real team. Kai says she still deserves to be NXT Women's Champion and will prove that tonight. Gonzalez tells Ripley that she messed up by getting in her face. They walk off. Alright, we go back to the ring and William Regal is in the ring with NXT title belt on display. He talks about Karrion Kross relinquishing the title due to the separated shoulder. He suffered in the title win over Keith Lee at TakeOver 30. On Saturday, Regal gives Kross some praise and wishes him the best on long recovery. Regal announces next Tuesday's special edition of NXT will feature a fatal 4-way with some of the best in the business. The winner becoming new NXT champion. He goes on praising the competitors and then names them: Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Finn Balor, and Adam Cole. Regal then reveals that NXT Super Tuesday match will be a 60-minute Iron Man match. Barrett says he will be back for next week's show. NXT Cruiserweight title match, Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Santos Escobar. We go back to the ring. Out first comes the challenger, Isaiah Swerve Scott. Legado Del Fantasma. All 3 members are out next. But he sends Mendoza and Wild to the back. Escobar hits the ring by himself. We get formal ring introduction from Taylor. Bell rings and they go at it. Escobar works on the arm first. Scott takes it to the ropes in the corner, launching Escobar across the ring into the 4-4 breather. Scott looks to do more high flying, but Escobar backs away at ringside. Back to commercial. Back to the break. Swerve slams Escobar back for a quick pin attempt. Escobar Ground Scott now. Escobar levels Scott with a shoulder. They take on the mat. Scott powers up with a big suplex for another close 2 count. More back and forth between the two. Escobar rolls out of a submission and goes to the floor for a breather, showing frustration. Scott follows, but Escobar launches him face first into the plexiglass. Scott lands hard on Escobar and stomps him as the referee counts. Escobar launches Scott face first over the steel ring steps. Escobar kicks a choke and brings it back in for a 2 count. Crowd rallies now, but Escobar beats him around the ring. Escobar charges with jumping double knees in the corner, but for another close pin attempt. Escobar with a headbutt in the corner. Escobar keeps a choke, but Scott takes him down and they tangle some more. They end up on the second rope in the corner. Escobar counters the move, turns it into a big sit-down powerbomb for a 2 count. Back to Marshall. Back for the break, Escobar delivers a big knee. They talk some trash while Scott is down. Escobar spits and swerves out, then kicks him in the head. Swerve gets up, and he's furious. Scott catches him and unloads against the ropes, and beats Escobar down in the corner. Swerve goes up top with a flying elbow to the back. Escobar goes back out for a breather, but Scott kicks him in the face from the apron. Swerve runs the ropes and leaps out over the top, taking Escobar down on the floor. Swerve brings it back in the ring, rolls into a big flatliner, but Escobar kicks out just in time. Wild is on the apron now, distracting the referee. Mendoza appears on the other side of the ring, distracting Scott from the floor. Escobar takes advantage and drops Swerve for a close 2 count. New NXT Tag Team Champions Breezango come down to fight Mendoza and Wild off to the back. So there's your next challengers for that. Escobar waits for Swerve to get up now, but Swerve drops him with a running high knee for a 2 count. They take on the mat, but Swerve powers up with a big German suplex for a 2 count. Swerve gets hyped up, waiting for Escobar to get back to his feet. Swerve levels Escobar with a big kick to the champ. Kicks out once again. Swerve scoops Escobar on his shoulders and he slides out. Swerve counters in the corner with another big slam, but Escobar gets him on the bottom rope to break the pin. Escobar goes to the floor and pulls out a lucha mask. Escobar puts the mask on with a center. You could see the item budging out on the mask, and he immediately puts on and nails Swerve, and the referee didn't see it, and counts a 3 count. Winner and still champion, Escobar. After the match, Escobar grabs his title and hits it in the back as the music plays. Escobar poses on the ramp with the title and the lucha mask, which may have been rigged, of course, the foreign object in it. He poses while Scott is still laid out in the ring. We get a backstage promo from Johnny Gargano. He talks about his legacy and ruling NXT, and how he now has golden opportunity to win back the NXT title next week. Still to come on Kyle O'Reilly and Drake versus Drake Maverick by commercial. Back from the break, we get a video package from Ben Balor to hype his role in NXT next week's Tuesday's NXT title match. Drake Maverick versus Kyle O'Reilly. We go to the ring, and out comes Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly with Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong. We see how the Undisputed Era attacked Drake Maverick and Killian Dane during their match last week. Drake is out next, and he's ready to fight. The bell rings, and Drake unloads with strikes. Kyle tries to come back, but Drake keeps offense coming. Drake kicks O'Reilly's leg out and sends him flying to the floor. Drake goes to the top and flies out, taking out Strong and Fish as O'Reilly moves out of the way. O'Reilly returns to the ring, and Drake eventually follows. O'Reilly drops Drake and mounts him with more strikes. O'Reilly talks trash while keeping Drake down. O'Reilly takes Drake back down and kicks him in the back. Drake jumps back up and takes O'Reilly down, then kicks him in the back. Drake rocks O'Reilly in the corner, hits a big bulldog and sends time for a pop. O'Reilly cuts Drake off with a knee to the gut. O'Reilly works on the arm now, but Drake keeps fighting. They trade strikes in the middle of the ring. O'Reilly kicks his leg out. O'Reilly catches a big leg, but drops with an enziguri. More back and forth now, but Drake's knee buckling again. O'Reilly takes him down into the knee submission. Drake tries to fight out of it, but eventually taps out. After the match, O'Reilly stands tall as the music plays. Undisputed Era hits the ring for Drake, but Dane eventually runs down to make the save. Dane ends up clearing the ring as Drake tries to get to his feet. Drake limps over to Dane, and it looks like they're about to hug and get on the same page, but Dane drops Drake with a big right hand. Dane marches back to the back as the crowd boos. We see what happened with a takeover with Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai, NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai. Mackenzie stops Ripley backstage and asks why she's teaming with Shirai. Tonight, Ripley admits she wants the title, but that won't get in the way tonight. At Takeover, She sent a message to Kai and Gonzalez that Shirai is hers. Ripley has a few words for Gonzalez and before walking out back to commercial. Back for the break, Adam Cole is backstage hyping up his role in NXT next week's NXT title match. Vic also plugs the match on next week's Super Tuesday episode. Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Kai and Ripley start things off. Ripley takes the choke early on, avoids the roll-up. Ripley kicks Kai, but wants Gonzalez to come in. Gonzalez tags in, and they lock up, but have a stalemate. They lock up again, and begin another face-off. Ripley headbutts Gonzalez. Gonzalez ends up pushing Shirai, but Shirai comes in and does a big scissor to send Gonzalez to the floor. Kai ends up in the way, but Shirai kicks her to the floor. Gonzalez and Shirai go at it now. Kai comes in and works on the arm. As does Gonzalez. More back and forth between the two teams. Kai and Shirai have a stalemate. Shirai rolls into a double stomp. Back for the break. Ripley is in control of Kai. Gonzalez makes a save from the apron, and they send Ripley out to the floor. Landing hard. Gonzalez sends Ripley face first in the apron. They bring it back in for a 2 count. Ripley fights back, but Gonzalez takes it to the corner, and then comes Kai for a quick double team. Kai grounds Ripley on the mat now and works on her arm as referee checks on Ripley. A 6-man street fight is set for next week with Legado del Fantasma versus Breezango and Isaiah Scott. Gonzalez comes back in and cuts Ripley off. Ripley finally fights Gonzalez off, and then comes Shirai. Kai also tags in, but Shirai unloads and plants her face first. Gonzalez runs interference, but Shirai goes at it with her. Shirai drops Kai on the ropes, hits the double knees on Gonzalez in the corner. Shirai goes back to Kai with a 619 and follows up with a drop kick for a close 2 count. More back and forth now. Kai with a score for a kick to Shirai. Shirai blocks the Kai rope fracture and kicks Kai in the face. Shirai with a German suplex for a 2 count as Gonzalez breaks it up. Gonzalez ends up dropping Ripley off the apron, then dragging Kai to the corner to tag in. Gonzalez scoops Shirai for a double team as Kai kicks Shirai in the head. Gonzalez immediately follows up with a slam to the mat and a 2 count on Shirai. Ripley is back on the apron, waiting for a tag. Shirai kicks Gonzalez away and tags Ripley in, but the referee missed it as Kai had him distracted. Gonzalez brings Shirai back to the corner and works her over. Mercedes Martinez suddenly appears at ringside, pulling Ripley off the apron and making her hit the steel ring steps face first, taking her out of the match. Gonzalez tries to take advantage and hits a big super power slam in the middle of the ring. Shirai still kicks out of 2. Kai tags back in, and Ripley slowly gets to the apron. Ripley saves Shirai from getting decked. Ripley stumbles in the ring, and Gonzalez also tags in. Gonzalez then levels Ripley, hits a big pump slam in the middle of the ring for the pin and the win. After the match, Gonzalez and Kai stand tall over Ripley as the music plays. We go to replays. Ripley and Shirai recover on the mat as Kai and Gonzalez talk trash from the stage as NXT goes off the air. And that concludes my results from this week's events. See you want to be in. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.